Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the latest from Australian Eloquence, Antal Dorati's Philharmonia Hungarica Mercury Masters. Now, the Dorati legacy on Mercury is getting carved up. We had his Minnesota recordings. Yet to come are the London Symphony recordings, which will be here shortly in a few months or so. And here we have the slimmest of his legacies, the Philharmonia Hungarica recordings. Now, the Philharmonia Hungarica consisted of Hungarian refugee musicians after the revolution, which was repressed, of course, of 1956. And, they formed an organization, and Dorati was very, very helpful in finding them work. They found work as a recording orchestra, most famously in doing his complete Haydn symphony cycle, a foretaste of which you can find here. The interesting thing about the Philharmonia Hungarica is that although most of this is Hungarian music, that isn't really what the best recordings are, or, well, some of them. They were not a great ensemble. Never. They were decent. They were okay. And, they were good for the Haydn symphonies because they required smaller forces and are less obviously virtuosic. And some of them they play very, very well. And they were just right for that sort of project. For these pieces, we will see, there are 8 discs in here, and we shall take them one at a time. It's more of an iffy thing. So let's talk about it. Let's take a look and see what's in here. Oh, yes. The best thing about them in these recordings are the Mercury recordings, of course, which are, for the most part, absolutely excellent. First, we have Musica Hungarica. We've got Kodai's Marosek and Galanta dances, or Marosheki Tancheks, Marosek, Marmozet dances. There you go. Yes, the Maroshek dances and the Galanta dances, and then Bartók orchestrated by Leo Weiner, 2 Romanian dances, which are rather nice and not that easy to find. So that's okay. They're charming performances. There are more virtuosic ones by the likes of Reiner and Ormandy and, the usual culprits. But it's a nice disc. And then we've got Bartók's Dance Suite, 2 portraits, and Mikrokosmos, two numbers arranged by Tibor Surly. Again, these arrangements and things are very nice. The 2 portraits are okay. The dance suite's it's just not a great performance. The orchestra doesn't have the bite. They don't have the virtuosity of the fast dances, the rhythmic snap. You just don't get it in this performance. And there are 2 versions of the dance suite in here. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it's odd because, you'd think their Bartók would be just terrific, but it really isn't. And Dorati is partly to blame too, because his Bartók, some of his Bartók was very, very good, but some of it was just a little bit, well, he was a ballet conductor, and it was just a little bit too on the dancey schmoozy side. It wasn't hard enough. Which is ironic because he was a very good Stravinsky conductor, actually, as a dance conductor. You'd think he would do dance really well. And most of the time he did, but somehow it didn't click in some Bartók. And so we'll consider some more of that in a minute, too. All right, this is cute. We have Wiener Walzer Paprika. Yeah, okay, it's tacky, but you get, let's see, the Merry Widow Waltz, by Lehar, Kalman's Die Zartes Fürsten Waltz, Joseph Strauss, let's see, what's this thing? Dorfschwalben aus Österreich. Oh, yeah, that's that. Those, village swallows from Austria. Erno Dochnani, Wedding Waltz, from the Vale of Pierrette, which we've already talked about, which is a rather dreary work. Waldteufel's Skater's Waltz, and Joseph Lanner's Die Schönbrunner. And these are all lovely performances, enjoyable, light, fluffy things, and it's nice. Here is the jewel of the collection, one of the most famous recordings Dorati ever made, the complete Respighi Ancient Airs and Dances. Glowingly recorded, beautifully played. Again, it's a chamber orchestra. It's something that doesn't require power and, big orchestra thrust and gusto. And oh, this is just lovely. It's still lovely. It was the reference recording for a million years. It still is. It's absolutely terrific. So yes, that was one of the best things they ever did, and it was a smart thing for them to do because it broke them out of the Hungarian ghetto, as it were. And boy, that was a popular disc. Tchaikovsky, Serenade for Strings, Arensky, Variations on a Theme by Tchaikovsky. A rather nice coupling. I mean, it's a 45-minute disc. These aren't long discs. They're all original jackets, as you can see, and original couplings. Lovely performances. They're very, very nice. Dorati was a terrific Tchaikovsky guy. Again, the string sound isn't the ultimate in refinement or voluptuousness, but the performances are good and sensitive and fine. Then we've got Haydn. Haydn Symphonies 103, the drum roll, and 94, the surprise. Well, the remakes are better. They really are. I mean, the orchestra had gotten a little bit better, I think, by the time they went to do the complete Haydn Symphony cycle for Decca. And these performances just don't quite have the flair and the rhythmic punch that Dorati later brought to the music. It's not terrible. It's good of its type, but certainly not special. And then it's not last, we're number 7, right? Yes. The Bartók Divertimento and Leo Weiner's Hungarian folk dances. This is valuable for the Leo Weiner. It really is. The Divertimento, again, it's nothing special. It's okay, but the Weiner, this is stuff you don't find everywhere. I mean, it was the interest in the repertoire that really mattered here. And so this was nice. It was on Fontana. See that? So there you have it. And finally, last but not least, another dance suite coupled to the music for strings, percussion, and celesta. Now, this was originally, as you can see, on Philips. It was recorded in 1974. Most of the rest of this stuff is from the 1950s, the late 50s, basically the early stereo era, the Mercury Living Presence stuff. And this was not a Mercury Living Presence recording. Sonically, it's not much of an improvement over the earlier recording, and the performance of the dance suite is certainly no better. The music for strings, percussion, and celesta, Dorati recorded a couple of times. It was a work he never really got. The tempi were always too slow. The piece lacked bite and thrust and rhythmic energy in the 2 quick movements, the second movement and the fourth movement, and so it is here. It's a completely uncompetitive recording. Which shocks me because it's a Hungarian guy doing Hungarian stuff, with a Hungarian orchestra, and it just isn't very good. And that's the reality. So, what's the bottom line? People who collect Antal Dorati, we're going to want this. People who want some interesting Hungarian repertoire, the Bartók orchestrations, which are pretty short, but the Leo Weiner stuff is decent. The Kodály stuff is decent. The Respighi is a classic. The Tchaikovsky and Arensky are very nice, and a nice coupling, a wonderful album to just relax and listen to. The waltzes are charming, and the Bartók stuff is surprisingly not competitive for the most part. That's where it is. And you can make up your mind whether you want to get this all over again. I mean, if you already have it, no need. If you don't have it, then it depends on the repertoire and your own personal preferences. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.